If you could sit down with God for just one moment, just one, and ask Him anything, what would you ask? Some people might ask about their future. Some might ask about heaven. Some might ask about loved ones they've lost, but again and again. Across nations, across cultures, across hearts broken in 1,000 different ways, one question rises above them all: God, why do you allow pain and suffering? Does that surprise you? It doesn't surprise me. Because if someone hasn't asked that question, yet life has a way of pushing it out of them eventually. Pain forces questions to the surface. Suffering makes even the strongest whisper, why? It shakes you, it weakens you, it cracks something deep inside. And Jesus never pretended life would be easy. He didn't sugarcoat anything. He didn't say, follow me and everything will be smooth. He said the opposite. In this world you will have trouble, John 16:33. Not may. Not sometimes. Not if you're weak, you will. But the why behind it, that is a question no preacher, no philosopher, no scholar has ever fully answered. And if you looked me in the eyes right now and asked, why does my suffering exist? Why did this pain happen? Why did that moment break me the way it did? I could only give you 4 honest words: I do not know. Not because I don't care. Not because your story doesn't matter. Not because your tears don't count. But because I am not God. I don't see what He sees. I don't understand what He understands. I don't hold eternity the way He holds it. Scripture says it plainly, 1 Corinthians 13:12. Now we see things imperfectly, like puzzling reflections in a mirror. We don't see the whole picture. We see fragments, little pieces, moments that hurt by themselves, but may make sense someday in eternity. And if you're walking through suffering right now, if the weight on your chest feels suffocating, if your heart feels heavy, if your nights feel endless, if your prayers feel unanswered, the last thing you need is a theological explanation. When your heart is broken, explanations don't heal. Doctrines don't comfort. Logic doesn't soothe a bleeding soul. When you're suffering, you don't need an argument, you need a presence. You need Jesus Himself, the one who understands suffering, who entered suffering, who carried suffering, who conquered suffering. But here is something equally true. Even if we never understand everything about pain, there are things we can know. Even though suffering is not good, God can bring good out of suffering. I know some people hear that and immediately pull back. No. You don't understand. You don't know what I've lived through. My suffering was too deep, too dark, too ugly. Nothing good can come out of that. And maybe that's exactly what your heart is saying right now. But listen gently, lovingly. Let me remind you of something powerful. God took the worst event in the history of the universe, the murder of His perfect Son, and turned it into the greatest gift heaven has ever given. The cross was the darkest moment the world had ever seen, yet out of it came the brightest light humanity has ever known. If God can take that, the brutality, the injustice, the betrayal, the agony, and turn it into redemption, salvation, eternal hope, then yes, He can take your pain and bring purpose out of it. He can take your suffering and grow something eternal through it. He can take your brokenness and turn it into a doorway for healing. He can take your tears and transform them into seeds of compassion, empathy, strength, and faith. He may use your suffering to draw you closer to Him, not because He enjoys your pain, but because He knows His presence is the only place your soul will truly heal. He may use your story to speak to someone else, someone who feels alone right now, someone who will believe your testimony when they can't believe their own prayers. He may use your wounds to shine a light for someone still trapped in darkness. He may take what the enemy meant to destroy you and turn it into the very thing that shapes you, strengthens you, restores you, transforms you. No, not everything will make sense today. Not everything will feel fair. Not everything will feel clean, resolved, or understandable. But this, you can be absolutely sure of: your suffering is not wasted. Your pain is not pointless. God has not forgotten you. He is closer than your breath, deeper than your tears, stronger than your hardest night. And one day, when your eyes finally see what His eyes have always seen, the why that haunts you, now will become the wow that overwhelms you then. Until that day, hold on. Not to explanations, not to answers, but to Him. Hold on to Him, the one who conquered the world, the one who redeems your pain, the one who carries your soul through the fire, the one who turns suffering into strength, the one who brings beauty out of ashes every single time. Suffering is not just a philosophical question. It's not an abstract idea. It's not something distant or theoretical. Suffering is deeply personal. It touches the heart, it breaks the spirit, it shakes the soul. And because suffering is personal, God sent a personal solution in Jesus Christ. God is not some far-off deity staring at us from a distance. He is not disinterested, not detached, not cold or uncaring. Through Jesus Christ, God stepped into our pain, into our sorrow, into our deepest wounds. Psalm 34:18 tells us something that feels almost unbelievable. When we're hurting, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and He saves those who are crushed in spirit. Close to the brokenhearted. Not far, not hidden, not silent, close. I remember a wise philosopher sharing something with me during one of the darkest seasons of my life. My world felt heavy, my heart felt cracked, and my spirit felt like it was unraveling. And he looked at me and said, "Jesus is there in the lowest places of your life. Not just near the surface moments, not just in the victories, not just in the places where we smile, pretend, or say I'm fine." He said, "Are you broken? Jesus was broken like bread for you. Are you despised? Jesus was despised and rejected by men. Do you feel like you can't take one more day? Jesus was a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief, familiar with agony. Have you been betrayed? Jesus was sold out for 30 pieces of silver. Have your tenderest relationships shattered into pieces? Jesus loved deeply and was rejected deeply. 2 people turn away from you. They hid their faces from Him like He was a leper. Then He leaned forward, eyes serious, voice soft, and said something that struck me deep. Does God descend into your deepest hells? Yes, He does. Because Jesus didn't avoid suffering, He entered it. He didn't avoid darkness, He walked through it. He didn't avoid rejection, He endured it. He didn't avoid grief, He carried it. Then this philosopher quoted the words of Corrie ten Boom, written inside a Nazi concentration camp, words soaked in suffering and faith. No matter how deep our darkness, He is deeper still. He is deeper still. Deeper than the grief you can't talk about. Deeper than the heartbreak that still aches after years. Deeper than the loneliness you've tried to hide. Deeper than the depression that feels suffocating. Deeper than the questions you're afraid to ask out loud. Every tear you cry becomes a tear He shares. Then this wise man looked at me and said something I have never forgotten, something that changed the way I see suffering. It's not just that God sympathizes with you like a close friend would. Any close friend can sit beside you on the couch, put their arm around you, and say, "I'm here." And yes, that matters, that helps, that comforts. But Jesus does more than that. He said, because if Jesus lives in you, if you are His child, then He is not just next to you. He is inside you. Which means He is closer than any friend could ever be, closer than any person could ever reach. Closer than the pain pressing on your chest. Closer than the fear whispering in your mind. Closer than the tears hiding behind your eyes. If He is inside of you, then your sufferings become His sufferings. Your sorrow becomes His sorrow. Your heartbreak becomes His heartbreak. You do not carry pain alone. You do not bleed alone. You do not break alone. So, my friend, when tragedy strikes, and it will. When pain enters your life, and it will. When questions rise, and fears whisper, and life feels overwhelming, you stand at a choice. Do I turn away from God and grow bitter? Or do I turn to God and find hope, peace, and courage, bitter or better, closed or comforted, hardened or healed, angry or anchored, running from God or running straight into His arms? The choice is ours. And when you turn to Him, He gives you what nothing else in this world can offer: peace for the present and courage for the future. Peace that steadies your heart today. Courage that carries your soul tomorrow. Hope that survives the storm. Strength that rises in the fire. Love that never leaves. Presence that never fades. Because the one who enters your suffering, the one who stands in your darkness, the one who carries your tears, the one who lives inside you, is the one who conquered the world. So hold on, not because the pain is small, but because he is great. And he is with you in you for, even here, even now, even in this. Christ may use your suffering to mold you, to shape you, to strengthen your character in ways you never imagined, ways that would have never formed without those heavy moments pressing against your soul. There are countless ways far beyond what our minds can grasp, through which God can, and he will, bring good out of the very thing that once tried to break you, if you are committed to following him. But here's a truth we don't always want to face. We decide whether pain makes us bitter or whether it drives us into the arms of God. We decide if suffering hardens us or softens us. We decide whether we collapse under the weight or cling to the one who carries us through the fire. When tough times come, they will come, and I stand at a crossroads. Are we going to turn bitter? Or are we going to turn to God for peace and courage? You've seen it, I've seen it. We've all seen it how the same kind of suffering hits two people and produces completely different outcomes. One person becomes angry, resentful, closed off, their heart curling in on itself like a clenched fist. And yet someone else walks through the same devastation and somehow comes out more tender, more compassionate, more loving, more connected to God and others. Take this for example: one parent loses a child to a drunk driver and grief becomes a prison. Their world shrinks around the pain, and bitterness becomes the air they breathe. But another parent struck by the same tragedy rises with a fire inside them, not a fire of revenge, but of purpose. They build something like Mothers Against Drunk Driving. They turn agony into action. They bring healing to others even while their own heart still aches. Same suffering, two different responses, two different destinies. A philosopher once told me something profound. He said all suffering is at least potential good, an opportunity for good. Potential, opportunity, possibility. Then he added something even more important: it's up to our free will to actualize that potential. In other words, suffering can teach. Suffering can heal. Suffering can transform. Suffering can produce character, endurance, compassion, wisdom, strength, but it doesn't automatically do any of those things. Because it's up to us. Our response determines what our suffering becomes. Will we run from God or run to God? No, let me finish what Jesus began earlier, because I only gave you part of the verse. Here is the full promise, the full truth, the full hope. John 16:33. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. You will have suffering in this world, but be courageous. I have conquered the world. Do you hear that? Do you feel the weight of those words? Jesus offers us in the very middle of our pain two things our hearts crave most: peace for the present and courage for the future. How can he promise that? Why can he speak so boldly into our pain? Because he has conquered the world. Through his own suffering, through his own wounds, through his own death, he broke the power of the world to have the final say over your life. Suffering does not get the last word anymore. Pain does not get the last word anymore. Darkness does not get the last word. God has the last word. Jesus is the last word. And here's the part we often miss: God's ultimate answer to suffering is not just an explanation. It's not a philosophical argument. It's not a debate. It's not a perfectly crafted paragraph that suddenly makes the pain disappear. God's ultimate answer to suffering is the incarnation. It's Jesus, God, stepping into our world, into our skin, into our sorrow. He didn't stay distant. He didn't watch suffering from a throne. He entered it. He walked through it. He drank every bitter cup. He carried every weight humanity could not carry on its own. He didn't give us a lecture, he gave us himself. He didn't give us a theory, he gave us a savior. He didn't give us a reason, he gave us a redeemer. The cross may not explain every detail of suffering, but the cross proves something far more powerful. God is not absent in your pain. He is always present, always working, always redeeming, always transforming. Your suffering is not a sign that God abandoned you. It is often the very place where his presence becomes the most real, the most intimate, the most life-changing. And because Jesus conquered the world, your suffering cannot define you. Your pain cannot destroy you. Your trials cannot defeat you. They may shape you, they may refine you, but they will not have the last word. Because God already spoke the final word on the cross, and that word was victory, hope, redemption, life. So hold on. Even in the tears, even in the ache, even in the questions,